Carl in Atlantic City. Carl, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
On my mind is in Atlantic City, we've had 4 casinos close in the last year. 5th one's going to close in November.
Sorry to hear that.
And my question, I know, I don't know how many jobs lost. 7,500, I've heard, 9,000. It's a whole lot. So my question is this. We're a sanctuary state in New Jersey. I'll throw that out.
Okay.
So who should have the jobs that are left? Should it be the people that have lived here all their lives and worked in these places and say, hey, we need E-Verify? The people that here aren't legally or even with past 2 visas, should they lose their jobs? I'm asking you, what do you think?
Well, let me ask you. Somebody comes to your house, wants to mow your lawn. 2 people come to your house, want to mow your lawn. One's an American citizen. He wants to mow your lawn for $75 a month. Plus, you're going to have to cover the insurance costs and make sure that he has a lemonade.
Workman's compensation. Yeah.
And he's going to have a lemonade every time he comes. And I would What's that?
You're asking the wrong guy. I cut my own lawn, but across the street,
I mean, I'm sure when you've been out there cutting your lawn, you've thought, man, I would pay somebody to do this, at least some amount of money. The other one is an illegal alien comes and says, I will mow your lawn for $50. And so, I mean, already he's significantly less costly than the American, and he's not demanding a lemonade.
Well, I have a guy behind. Well, I would take neither of them because I have across the street. The lady has a black guy does it, and he works at the casino on weekends, and he has a lawn business during the week. And behind me, the guy works for Budweiser on the weekends. He has a lawn service, and he's also black. Okay, I would take.
I thought you were going to say child labor.
That's what I believe in.
Well, if you can get a neighbor's kid to do it, sure.
Yeah, but I guess that'd be the only point that I have on that is that essentially I don't think that there's any here in this country where there's not supposed to be any demarcations of royalty. I don't think that I don't think it matters where you live. I live in a new place. I've only lived in New Hampshire for about 8 years, and there's some people that don't believe that I should be able to have any opinion, any political opinion at all. You're not from here. You don't get to say. They don't want me to have an opinion. Now, obviously, they can't stop me, but they do want me to shut up.
Right.
And that's what it's like. I'm a stranger in a strange land.
Right. Well,
that's kind of the thing.
Go ahead, Carl.
I heard you saying about renting your house out and whatever. But see, sometimes these houses that get rented out, say in Atlantic City, there's 10 mattresses on the floor to pay maybe the rent. Well, you know where I'm going at with that.
A lot of times you'll find people living in conditions you would not want for yourself.
But they need to do that, and they can pay the rent. So you got to have a whole bunch of people live in the house to be able to pay the rent. That's part of it.
I gotcha, Carl. I do appreciate the call.
Okay.
855-450-FREE.
Yeah, like E-Verify and things like that. I know a lot of people support that, but those are really they keep, and why people support it is largely because it keeps Mexicans from getting jobs here. But the problem is when you open Pandora's box with something like that. Okay, what stops them from saying, "Oh, you're a libertarian"? No more. You don't get to work here with like E-Verify.
Yeah. We need to make sure that you're patriotic. I mean, I could totally see that.
Whatever arbitrary, I was going to an extreme, no doubt, but whatever arbitrary system they set up, they'll say, "Oh, you can't work here anymore."
It's not like the Red Scare didn't happen in this country.
Oh, sure, right.
Not only that, but we have these terrorist watch lists, and there's procedures if you have the same name as somebody who's on it, but that affects a lot of innocent people, and nobody cares until they're the one that it affects. But when it does, it's a big deal.
And I don't support illegals getting jobs over legals or something like that. I have a problem with laws that prevent people who want to work and want to make a better life for themselves and their family from doing that. Now, I got every problem in the world with a bunch of giveaways that are going to draw in what I call stray cats. You put out cat food every morning on your porch, and then you rage and get upset that cats come and eat out of the bowl. You're not just stupid, you're crazy. I don't know what to say about that. Now, if your wife keeps putting cat food out on or your husband, your spouse keeps putting cat food out on the porch, and then you're upset, your problem isn't with the cats, it's with house. The crazy person keeps putting food out. So that's the problem with all these freebie things. Now, we have seen, I've read a bunch of the stuff. What we found is that it's a net plus to this country. Even illegals, no matter what, are a net plus. Yes, I don't think you should have to pay for their stuff, but they still bring more than they take. Because remember,
do you have a specific
jobs and
do you have a specific source on that?
I don't have a specific source on the financials. I read about that. I think it was The Economist.
Okay.
But I do know the American Conservative was very clear that illegals don't commit more crimes from a demographic point of view.
Okay.
So
well, there's
young
a point,
people
sure.
young people tend to move. So if you say, white Americans versus illegal immigrants, then illegal immigrants commit more crime because illegal immigrants tend to be young males. But if you compare the demographic cells, the young males that move, the young male illegals versus young white males, then you have an exact match. So they're just
I
as
want to know
likely.
about the Canadian illegal immigrants who are largely white and European heritage, French Canadians or whatever. Do they commit crime?
I helped a Belgian get a job illegally when I was in Florida.
Really?
He needed to work while he was here. He was visiting the States for a few months, and a friend needed a laborer, so I paid him under the table.
Dunkin' Donuts was one of the companies that famously supported E-Verify. I'd love to see a market solution to this so that people who believe the economic fallacy that immigrants are bad could buy their coffee from places that only hire American workers and pay more for their coffee, and people who don't could go to places that do hire so-called illegals.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.